Well, welcome back. So, project of the day, let me get right to it, is called My First Castle Panic. So this is an amazing game. It has not a million, but a lot of 5-star reviews. And what it is it's a precursor to My Castle Panic. It's like a game you play together. I forget what that's called. So it's a game you play together, and this is my first Castle Panic. It could be a precursor to the old Castle Panic. So my children are 6 and 8. And they love playing. It's super fast too, which is my favorite way to play a game. And no, this is not sponsored. So basically what it is you have a castle and you have a wall. And you start off with 3 little goblins here. And every turn you play a card. And if if you have a card, and you can ask other players for help. Hey, who has a card? Who has, one of these little, it has to be the same color and the same color and same shape, same color and same shape. So this would be, so for example, if I had a triangle, then I would throw that down, and that would put this guy who has that triangle in there. And then at the end of the turn, we all move up 1. And so if we kill all the monsters before they reach the castle here, then we win. And if we don't, then we lose. So we do it as a team, and it is quite the great game. It's called My First Castle Panic. I don't know how much it was. I bought it off of Amazon. I don't know, but I'm very excited about it, and I want to get more games we can play together. So today I wanted to show you some of my favorite books. So let's go over to my book section, if you will. I think hopefully it's bright enough over here. So what I have is, so far I have 2, because there's 2 different library systems. And so no, they're not ordered, but that was the theory behind it was, so every week I go to the library, and then this is from one library and this is from the other library, plus I have DVDs and stuff. Now we don't get through every book every week, but I wanted to show you some great books. Okay, so this is The Wild Robot. It's about, oh my gosh, it's pretty fast paced. I'm reading it with my grade 2, kind of a read aloud, if you will. It does have a few pictures in it, so occasionally it has, oh, you're not seeing any, but occasionally it has a picture. 2 chapters are pretty short. And it's just about a robot, I think it was written in the 1970s, so a cargo ship goes into a hurricane and a bunch of robots are stranded. And this is the only one that's alive. Roz is her name. And so she's just a robot on an island. So this is for little kids. Dragons are the worst. It's the second installment of Unicorns Are the Worst, I believe. Yeah, same author. And this is a little guy. This is a goblin. Very cute. So if you're looking for a very innocent, cute book, these are just books to garner interest. I hate my cats. If you have this is funny because this is what pet owners sometimes feel, but if you have a child who has ODD, or they're just a little oppositional or like reverse psychology and don't care for reading, I feed them when, I read to them when we're eating, and this is one of those books that they may like, because it's just why he really loves his cats. But you know what I mean? Like, I hate my cats, and this is why, because they're different, because they want, you know what I mean, a bunch of different stuff. So if your kid absolutely despises reading, you may want to start with these. I don't like them. They're press starts, the whole press start series, and it's about this rabbit who goes through, but they could also read it on their own. And again, I just use it for if a child really hates reading and is not in the mood for reading. Same with the Captain Underpants series, which but they love it. Sometimes I need a book. I like Nate the Great books. Nate the Great, and I had a Tabby one here, where the Tabby the cat and her owner, they're very good. It's a very good series as well. Where is it? Mr. Putty and Tabby. These are very good series. They're kind of like, if you graduate, I don't know, it reminds me, it's not Frog and Toad, but they're like, all 3 are top recommended series to read. So you start with Frog and Toad, and then you can move up to, if you ask me, Mr. Putty and Tabby is kind of read alouds if you want, or they can read them themselves. I don't know, it depends what level your kids are at, but it's just kind of entertaining, fun reading to do while you're eating. Anytime I serve food, they're usually more inclined to let me read to them. So that's how we cover so many books, is I'm like, okay, breakfast. So that means I don't eat breakfast with them. That means I'm working, quote unquote working, because I'm reading with them. Not quote unquote, I am working as I read with them or read to them. So this is Nate the Great. Nate the Great, he's just a detective. So he's kind of entertaining to read. So this is one of my first books. So these are Survival Scout, and this is by Maxwell Eaton III. It's okay, it's very interesting, and it's about, she's on an island outside Hawaii, and it's an earthquake happens, and then a tsunami happens. So if I showed you the books the other day that I showed you the red binders and the blue binder system that I do. So I'll attach that video at the end if you wanted to see it. But what I would do after reading this book is I would put down, okay, sometimes a tsunami can happen after an earthquake. And the biggest earthquakes are made when I think a continental plate goes under, whatever, it's written in here. And I would put that in the binder so that we could review that. But essentially, so it's kind of an interesting story, but it's pretty, you could go up to even age 10, 11, 12 with this. It's just that it has a lot of scientific information. So I think they delve almost a little too much into the learning stuff. So I did skip some pages, but it's how to survive, but learn the skills you need to survive a tsunami. So it is interesting, some like having a backpack and getting it ready to go, and what to do with earthquakes, the 3-step rule for earthquakes, which is essentially just get under something and stay there and do it fast. Do you remember this other superhero book? Even superheroes have bad days. There was another superhero book, but anyway, I feel like this is the second installment. And yeah. And so because we have it, even superheroes have bad days. And it is by Shelley Becker, illustrated by Ida Caban. Now, of course, you've probably heard of the Brambley Hedge books. Very good. I mean, very good. I was reading them again for little kids. I would say kindergarten. Read through and just kind of interesting pages. The stories are a little long. They do go on a little long. I don't know if that's just because I read a massive amount of picture books. Like, we just love picture books. Even the older kids like picture books. So that might be why I feel like, okay, this is taking a while. But at the same time, I read the robot book, and that didn't seem to take too long. So I don't know, but it's super cute. It's just about a bunch of mice and their life in the forest. And it goes through all the different seasons. So this is the Brambley Hedge, like the big collection of it. But you can get it by Jill Barklam, and it's on a lot of reading lists. I every week I go and I usually try and find some books on some type of reading list just to check them out. And this is not the first time I picked them up, but I think they are pretty great. And they go through all the seasons, which is kind of interesting. This is Bruce. You must know Bruce by now. Bruce's Big Storm. There's a lot of Bruce's books. Bruce is big. He's a grumpy bear. Bruce is grumpy. And he's got 2 friends there that are pretty funny. His 2 little friends are pretty funny. And then this is the whole neighborhood get together during a storm. And they go to Bruce's house. It gets destroyed. He is not thrilled. And then they help him rebuild it. This is an amazing book. I know it sounds weird, because if you've read it, you're like, what? But it is, because it's creepy crayon. But it's also the creepy carrots. And then I want to say creepy underwear as well. So it's like a 3-part series, but it's not. You can read them individually. And they do not have to wait for Halloween. I think this is the newest one by Peter Brown. And words by Aaron Reynolds. And it's just great. It's just so interesting. But this one, he has a purple crown. He starts doing all his schoolwork for him. So he starts getting all these A's. And then he starts feeling like not good inside because that is not right. And he cannot get rid of this creepy crayon. And then he finally does. And he earns a C, but he does it himself. So good on him. Next up, of course, we got Boss Baby, because who doesn't love Boss Baby? And Boss Baby is pretty sweet. It's one of those books where it's really good for adults to read too, because it's kind of entertaining. And this is by Marla Frazee. And it's cool because, in comes the new boss. And so it's all about his life as the CEO of this new company. And it's just very interesting about all his workers, which are his parents. The Bad Seed's super funny. I mean, it's not super funny, but it's interesting. Written by Jory John, and it's just this bad seed. And in this book, he tries to be good. I have another one that I haven't read yet, and that's The Bad Seed Goes to the Library. I haven't read it yet, so I don't know if it's any good. And of course, we have these favorites back here, which, I mean, The Runaway Bunny. I'm sure for little kids, The Runaway Bunny. It's just a super sweet book to own, just because it's what a mom will do just to get her baby back. So I quite like it. Just because we moved, I haven't brought all my actual books yet, so I only have a ton. Speaking of which, let me show you one tip when you go to the library is you can look at, they actually have a lot of curriculum at the library. Some libraries have more than others, but if you just put into the search computers, you just put in like grade 2 and see what comes up, it'll take you to a section that has all these a ton of different curriculum. And so what you can do if you want to DIY your a system yourself is you can look through and look at the table of contents, and though this is grade 1, look through and just copy some pages if you need to, or get some ideas from it. That's what I do sometimes. That's why I bought a bunch, just to get more ideas of what I can do to put in their binders and stuff. just because I love a binder. This book I'm really looking forward to. This is the last book I'll talk about today. But this is a book I'm really looking forward to reading. It is The First Cat in Space Ate Pizza. I'm kind of introducing them to graphic novels just to see if maybe it'll help like him read on his own a bit. Maybe he will like to. So we'll see. I haven't read it yet. First Cat in. So this is a cat who got blasted into space and teamed up with a queen and a robot to save the moon from being eaten by rats. So we'll see. We'll see how good it is. Anyway, I don't know what I'm going to film tomorrow. If you have any ideas, let me know. I might give you a preview into some fun schooling stuff that I got just to take a look at, just so you can see. But anyway, I'll deal with tomorrow. All right, bye-bye.
Please like and subscribe.
Yes.
And hit the bell for notifications.